H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys supports 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus. One-time pay, lifetime access to live classes and videos. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For free demo class, visit h2kinfosys.com.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through the the course contents for the data science course, and also what are we going to discuss in the course, and what are the different stages of life cycles of data science, and what are the applications where we can see the data science problem statements, and also we'll talk about what are the career opportunities in the data science field, and then we will see that if we are really desire to become a data science professional, then how to become a data scientist or data science professional. We'll see that as well, and finally we'll discuss about the different tools and languages which are required for becoming a data science professional, right? So this is the agenda for our discussion. So let me go with this. So first, we'll see what is data science, right? So every day we are hearing this term called data science or artificial intelligence. So what exactly is data science? So it's nothing. Data science is simply trying to dig out or trying to study the insights from the past history of the data by using some of the scientific and statistical algorithms by processing the huge amounts of data, right? So we are having enormous amount of data in which it is not supposed to be ideal. We want to dig out some information out of it so that this information is going to help us in making a better decisions, so that these decisions can eventually help us in making profitable business, right? So that's the goal for learning all these concepts of data science. Now, so coming to the demand, so why there is a huge demand for the artificial intelligence nowadays, right? So even if you look back to our schooling days, or 10 plus 2 days, we didn't hear that much about AI or data science in the past, right? So now why there is a huge demand for AI? The reason is, so there are four important factors which I have noticed. So the first important factor is there is a huge advancements or improvements in the computing powers, right? So if you look back to the past, what happens is there is no such a high processing CPUs or GPUs, right? So nowadays we are able to access the GPU processors at a reasonable prices, right? So before, there is no such type of feasibility, and there are no, even if there is a feasibility also, but there are no such developments in the past. So this high computing power is really helpful in processing a big algorithms in terms of deep learning frameworks, right? So that is the reason why there is a demand rising for AI nowadays. And another reason is data generation. So if you look back to the past, there is no data available for doing any such type of analysis. Even the data is available, that will be in the form of files, right, which are stored in the files and somewhere stacked up in the racks or in the storage rooms. So that is the way the data was sitting down. And if you look at now what happening is we are storing the data, and also we are creating the data in uh, I mean uh, terabytes of data or gigabytes of data, right? Every second we are generating terabytes of data. So there is a like two ways. So there is a huge amount of data is being generated, and also at the same time we are capable of storing that huge amounts of data. But if you look back to the past, there is no such feasibility of generation of data and also storage of the data. If you just recall some of the memes or images where around in 1950s or 1960s, I guess. So what happened was, to store 5 MB of data, they used to carry a big truck size of frameworks, if you remember that. So that is the situation in the past. But now in a small small chip, we can store at least 2 TB or 1 TB of size of data, right? And now we are upgrading to clouds, so where you can store terabytes of data easily, right? So that is a another reason where uh, the demand is rising for AI. So when you have such type of uh, solutions of generating huge amount of data, and at the same time storing the amount of data which is generated, then it's very easy for us to do the analysis and dig out the information, right? Now coming to the third reason, there is a huge amount of research and also developments are being done on the algorithms developments, right? So if you look back to the deep learning algorithms, which are into computer vision or NLP, there are many researches are being done, and many algorithms are published. So if you look back to some of the uh, prominent and most widely applicable algorithms, they are just recently developed. I mean around 4 to 5 years back. So there is lot of efforts are being done to develop the algorithms. And the fourth reason is there is a huge amount of investments that is attracting for AI developments. So you take any gained companies or even any mid cap companies, most of the companies, or even if you take any startup companies, definitely they are going to have a data science team as part of their team, and also they are focusing on the investments towards this AI developments in their products or in their services, or any other type of solutions what they are working on. So this is the reasons why we can see there is a huge demand for AI in nowadays, right? So now having said that, we'll wanted to see what are the components of data science, right? So if that is the demand created, then we should know what exactly the data science components are, right? So if you look back to the data science components, so the components of the data science are mathematics, right? Mathematics and statistics, and the computer science knowledge, uh, where we try to do some not some, so where we will be doing the programming, and also trying to uh, have some data processing skills. And the other important is machine learning and deep learning algorithms. And finally, not the I mean even though it is mentioned in the last, but it is mandatory to have for every data scientist, which is a domain expertise knowledge. So with all these components together, it forms a data science professional or a data science skill sets. So it is good to have the concepts of mathematics and statistics, where these concepts will be applied for deciding which type of loss functions and which type of gradient loss functions, and also for the uh, activation functions needs to be decided for your problem statements. And also it also helps us in terms of deciding the evaluation metrics. And so there are many applications where we will be using the mathematical concepts and statistics. And coming to the computer science and programming, we will be eventually depending on programming because these algorithms are programmed in either Python or R languages. So we must have knowledge on Python and programming. And coming to the data processing, we since we are handling the raw data which is available in the source, either it is databases or from the internet sources, whatever it is, the raw data is not at all always clean, and we have to do the cleansing and pre-processing of the data. And coming to the machine learning and deep learning algorithms, so when you wanted to dig out some information and make some predictions, definitely you should have the concepts of machine learning and deep learning algorithms, where we are going to study in coming sessions. And finally, the domain expertise. It is mandatory and it is always good to have the domain knowledge on which type of problem statements and in which domain you are working, right? So if you're working, let's say if you're working for some sales related domain, then you must know what exactly the factors which are important for the problem statements you are working, and what is your I mean for what kind of things you are making some predictions. So we should have all the concepts of domain in which we are working. So all together, we call this as a components of data science, and it is mandatory to have all the components. Then only we can say a data science. Now coming to the life cycle stages of a data science project. So it will be having around 6 to 7 stages of um, uh, cycles. So we'll discuss each one by one. So the first one is understanding the problem statements. So that is whenever you have given a problem statement or a project, then first thing what we have to do is we should understand the problem statement properly, right? So when you understand the problem statement, then only we'll go for the second stage, where we will try to extract the data, or we'll find the data which is relevant to the problem statement, right? So if you are working for a problem statement, particularly let us say um, uh, okay, so let us say I want to make some I want to do a sales forecasting, for example, for the coming season, right? So maybe we'll take for a quarter. So if you wanted to work on such type of problem, first of all we need to understand the problem statement exactly, right? So since we are working for a sales forecasting on certain product, then that is again we are predicting for a quarter. So then what are the features that are required for my forecasting, that we should understand, and accordingly then only we can dig out the data, right? So then only we will be connecting to your databases or the data sources, and then you will be fetching all the data for your analysis, right? Now coming to the third stage, it's a data processing and cleansing part, where we will be doing the cleaning of the data, and making our hands dirty with the data. So this is the stage where we will be spending a lot of time when you are dealing with the data, right? So and once you have the data processed, and when your data is clean, and then you can go for the model building. So when you are going for a model building, the stages of 4 and 5, where you will be trying to test on different models to check the accuracy of the model on the problem statement you're working. And it may be a single model, or it can be a multiple model, so depends again, right? So then you will be going for the model training on the trained data set, and also you will be evaluating your model on some sample test data set, and you will be checking the performances. Then if you are feeling satisfied with the results, then you will be taking the model for the deployment or any operationable actions. Otherwise you will be reworking on the model to improve the accuracies, and you will go to the final stage of operationable or deploying in the sources or servers. So this is the life cycle stages of data science project, right? So now, having said that, it is good to know what are the applications of data science projects and all the uh, AI trends. So the applications are vast, and every domain is exactly having the applications of these data science. You take any domain, either marketing or in travel industry or travel and tourism industry, and healthcare, sales, marketing, even social media and banking sector. So everywhere the applications of data science can be seen. Um, I mean, if you are into IT field, you might see, or even if you are not into IT field, you can see how the applications are varying, with respect to the. Um, I mean, even if you take a example of the mobile phone, right? So nowadays we are having the face related apps where you will see aging of the images, right? When you click your photo, then automatically your face will be face image will be passed through some deep learning architectures, and these deep learning algorithms will convert your face to some aged person. So this is done by using some GAN architectures. GAN, which is nothing but generative adversarial neural networks. So that is one example just I wanted to show you. So in every domain we can see the applications of data science, right? So now, coming to the career opportunities in data science, when you have the skill sets of data science or data science specialties, then you will be eligible for applying for these type of roles: data scientist or data engineer or data analyst or machine learning engineer or deep learning engineer. If not, you can also be business analyst or data analyst. So these are the different roles that are suitable for the data science specialist. And if you look at the skill set levels, so I have uh, mentioned for the most widely seen job roles in the market, which is the data scientist or data engineer or machine engineer, data analyst. So for a data analyst, it's highly important to have the, so for all the roles it is mandatory to have the programming knowledge and visualization skill sets. Okay. And also, uh, so for a data analyst, it is just only analyzing the data and giving the insights of from it. So it is good to have the data ingestion skill sets and statistics, and also some sort of data visualization. Whereas coming to the machine learning engineer, so he should have all the concepts of the skill sets mentioned on the left side. And coming to the data engineer, he basically deals with the big data and ETL tools and other Hadoop and big data frameworks. So he should have the programming and the visualizations and data wrangling skill sets mainly, right? And if you look at the data scientist, he is the one, he should have all the skill sets which is mentioned in the left side. All the skill sets are essential and important for a data scientist, right? So these are all the different skill sets for respective roles. Now, having said all these skill sets and also their opportunities, now you might have coming a question to your mind: then how to become a data science expert, right? So to become a data science expert, we need to have three important uh, three important domain, conceptual knowledge. So the first one is knowledge in mathematics and statistics, and the second one is complete knowledge in machine learning, and also the third topic is deep learning. Now we will see what exactly we will be studying in each conceptual, uh, the three modules of machine learning, deep learning, and mathematics and statistics. So the first, mathematics and statistics. we'll be focusing on different types of concepts of linear algebra and calculus, and also statistics and some probability concepts. So these are the four important areas where we will be touching in mathematics and statistics module. And coming to the machine learning, so machine learning is will be working on different types of problem statements, either classifying or regression. And so these machine learning algorithms are again classified into three different categories: supervised learnings or unsupervised learning or reinforcement learning. So we'll look into all these different types of algorithms of both the supervised learning and unsupervised learning algorithms. And coming to the deep learning part, so again, deep learning is again a deeper conceptual algorithms in terms of machine learning. So in this deep learning algorithms, we will be processing different complex neural networks and also dealing with the huge amount of data. And we'll be looking into different neural network algorithms like MLP or CNNs or RNNs and LSTMs and autoencoders, right? So now here I just wanted to show you the um, you know uh, conceptual understanding about artificial intelligence, deep learning, and machine learning. So everybody having some sort of doubt what is data science and what is artificial intelligence and what is machine learning, right? So it's just nothing. So there is a big umbrella which is artificial intelligence. Under that we have machine learning. So machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. Again, inside the machine learning part, there is a smaller part where the deep learning is subset of machine learning. So if you see, all the concepts of deep learning and machine learning are all under the umbrella of artificial intelligence, right? So everything is interlinked, and all the concepts are comes under the same concept of data science or artificial intelligence. So these concepts of machine learning and deep learning are started evolving recently from 1990s to nowadays. Even recently they have been working enormously. I mean, most of the scientists or the researchers are working enormously for developing complex architectures for solving the complex problem statements, right? So after looking at this, so it is good to know what are the tools and languages that you need to focus, right? So what I see is that in the market, most of the data scientists will have the skill sets of these five tools which I have mentioned in the left side. So every data scientist is really having a scripting knowledge in Python and R, right? So in it is good to have Python and R, but if you are having knowledge in Python, that is enough, because 90% of the organizations are preferring Python rather than R. But in some scenarios you might also require programming knowledge in R, depends again. And then you should have the knowledge in SQL scripting, because when you are joined as a data scientist, you need to deal with the data, and this data will not be given by you in terms of Excel files or any other data formats. Maybe some part of the data will be given, but most of the data you have to connect to the databases or data sources or your cloud repositories, and you have to fetch the data. So to fetch the data, you need to have the knowledge in pairing. So this is mandatory to have it, and you need to know one application for creating dashboards and visualizing the data, and also explain your clients and your stakeholders on how you are I mean, what are the things you are predicting, and what are the insights that you have found from your data. So for that, you need to know either Tableau or Power BI for visualizing the results and all the other dashboards, creating the dashboards, right? Now, so coming to the reason why Python is chosen by the 90% of the organizations. So it has a lot of advantages than other languages. So I have mentioned some of the reasons, like which is the first reason is very less to code in Python. I mean, so if you take an example of Java, just to print hello world, you need to have minimum 3 to 4 lines of code in Java, right? But in Python, just simply you can have it in one single keyword print statement. That's it. So like that, all the big length of code can be optimized to smaller lines of code in Python, and it's very easy to learn, right? It's just simply like our English conversations between computer and me, and we can easy to code it rather than that of, I mean, rather than other uh, coding languages. And it has enormous amount of pre-built libraries. We can see almost, thousands of libraries are built which supports for developing and pre-processing the data, and also for working on different algorithms in machine learning and deep learning. And if you look at the support, when you face any bugs or any issues in your programming, then you can see enormous support communities, either in Stack Overflow or in GitHub or in any other I mean, in any other platforms. So there is a massive community support for this type of programming language called Python. And also it is very easy to deploy in any other servers. So for any other deployment frameworks, all the deployment servers will, or the platforms will accept Python as uh, one of the component in it. So that is the reason we I mean, and most of the organizations have the uh, usage of Python as their default programming skill set for the data scientist. So I will come to the conclusion that, so the machine learning and deep learning, or the AI, is the current and the future scope for uh, you know uh, for the data enthusiasts or data professionals. So it is always good to start now because it's not late, and we can see this type of keywords of data science and artificial intelligence and the developments in our day-to-day life. So I mean, it is uh, right time to change or move our careers into the data science profession, because we can see at least the coming era of blockchain or IoT will have the team of data science as well, because again there we will be dealing with data, and it is again a essential key role to have the data scientist over there. So maybe the coming 30 to 40 years will rule the data science or the AI in the generations. So I go for question and answers. If you have any doubts, just let me know. So Anupan, Girish, are you there?
Hello, yes. How long will this take to complete this course? Like how long gonna take?
Right. So um, for all the concepts of mathematics and statistics and Python programming and machine learning and deep learning will take about 40 hours of duration,
Okay.
plus or minus 2.
So we'll basically learn the different components of uh, the machine learning, and what about Python and other things?
Yes, so we will be learning Python. So let me take you to the course contents. You will be able to understand better way. Right. So can you able to see my screen?
Uh, no, I can't. I'm using my cell phone. So is there?
Acha. No, actually I'm sharing my screen, right? So you must be able to see my screen where I'm showing you the course contents.
Uh, it says no screen or cameras are being shared. So I'm not able to see it.
Okay.
Yes, now I
Is it?
can.
Oh, so so you didn't see my presentation at all.
Yeah, I'm just sharing you.
Oh, you must have informed me, right? I thought I started sharing. I don't know how it stopped in between.
Yeah, earlier I saw some slides, but then stop.
You should have informed me. Okay. So this is a course contents actually. So where we will be having the first module as Python. So we'll start with Python first because to understand mathematics and statistics, again we will be taking help of Python only. Whatever the concepts in linear algebra and statistics and other concepts of calculus and probability will do everything in Python only. So module one is basically Python module, and in the second module we'll discuss about the concepts in mathematics and statistics. Okay, and then we'll go, if you go for the third module, which is in machine learning, we'll cover all the concepts of or algorithms in machine learning and machine learning, in which supervised and unsupervised problems or different types of algorithms in machine learning. And then we'll have the fourth module, which is the deep learning module, where we will be covering all the important neural network architectures which you can see. And again in the fifth module, which is again NLP and time series forecasting module, where we will be discussing about the concepts in natural language processing and other some of the prominent libraries in NLP such as spicy or NLTK. Right, so these are some of the libraries which we'll be discussing, and also some of the problem statements in NLP. And again we'll be discussing concepts in time series analysis, and then finally we will go for a capstone project. So for every module from third and fourth and fifth, we'll have individual projects based on machine learning, based on deep learning, and based on NLP. And finally we have a capstone projects. So this is the course contents which we will be going for. And coming to the visualization, I think you might be thinking about Tableau and Power BI. So we are not going to uh, take you to Tableau and Power BI with this course contents. What I will do, I will be teaching you the visualization from Python itself. But if you need Tableau as well, if you need to learn Tableau in mandatory, then we can go with that, and we can go with that as well. But it might take some more time apart from this course contents. So that is the uh, agenda and course contents. So I will just run those slides because you didn't see any of the slides. So one second. Right. So we discussed about what exactly is data science, and then we have also discussed about what is the demand for AI. Right. I have mentioned the four reasons why there is a demand for AI, and also we discussed about the components of data science. Right. And also the life cycle stages of data science, and we explain all the six stages in detail. And then we have seen the applications of data science, right? And also career opportunities in data science or data science field. And also we discussed about the different set of skill sets that is required for the most widely seen roles in data science. And so I mentioned about these three important modules where we discussed about each module in detail. Again, what we are going to learn from all these three modules of machine learning and deep learning, right? And so we discussed about the relationship between ML, DL, and AI as well. And then I mentioned about the tools and languages which are required for becoming a data science professional, right? And finally, I discussed about why Python is chosen by 80 to 90% of the organizations as a programming skill set for data scientists. Okay. So, so this is all about the presentation.
I have a question. What is the deep learning?
Right. So deep learning is again an advancement of the machine learning. In deep learning, what we will be doing is one second. So in deep learning, what we will be doing is, so it's simply analyzing the, the data set in with a different framework, like how the brain works like. So if you look at our brain, what happens is, if you look at our brain, there is a neuron cells, right? So this neuron is connected to another neurons with the dendrites and axons with the body. And what happens is, whenever a signal arises to the dendrites, so that dendroid, that signal will passes to the body of the neuron, and it passes, and it synthesizes some information out of it, or it triggers some sensors, and then it passes to the another neuron which is connected by the dendrites nearby it. So how the processing is taking place, similarly we have a mathematical neurons which is perceptron. So the perceptron is a building blocks to all the neural network architectures. So we will be building complex layers of neural networks where we will be uh, trying to solve some of the problem statements, such as most of the problem statements in deep learning related to uh, doing some problem statements in computer vision or NLP or OCR, or most of the problem statements related to NLP, the images and video or text processings. So in deep learning, what happens is there will be different set of uh, concepts, like we will be having input layer and a hidden layer and a output layer, where we will pass our input data through the input layer, and the processing of the data will takes place in the hidden layer. And these hidden layers can be of n number of layers, like sometimes we'll deal with even 200 plus or 500 plus number of hidden layers, and the processed data will comes to the output layer, which is our expected outputs.
All right, thank you. And I have one more question. What are the topics we are going to cover in mathematics and what are in statistics?
Right. So I have shared this. Right. So if you're coming to these concepts in mathematics and statistics, we'll be covering the concepts in linear algebra. The first chapter will be linear algebra, and the second chapter will be calculus, and then we'll have the concepts in statistics and probability. So in linear algebra, we'll be discussing about vectors, matrices, and all the operations with the vectors and matrices. And also we'll be discussing about what are the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, and we'll see principal component analysis and singular value decompositions. And in calculus, we'll be seeing gradient optimizations and some of the scalar derivatives, and also vector derivatives, and some of the functions.
Okay, thank you. And another thing, like, is your, like, this whole thing is being recorded? Can we get the recording, like, if we like miss anything, or maybe we want to make up, or are you guys going to share these notes with us or something, like, which we can go through it?
Right. So I think you will be receiving the recorded sessions from the team. That I am not sure, but I will be sharing you each and every material which we will be discussing in the class, even the codes which we will be discussing in the class, and the presentations and the study materials which I have referred, and you can get everything what we discuss. That is assured.
All right, thank you. So are we going to start, like, this is our first class today? Are we going to get like tomorrow second one?
Yeah, maybe that will be confirmed from the team depending upon the availability and slots.
All right, thanks.
So any other questions, Anup and Girish and
As you already talk about Tableau and the OBI, so are we going to do that like in this course if we need, or we have to do on the other side like an extra course?
no, it's not like other course. We can extend our duration to I mean for more 5 to 6 hours to learn Tableau. That is
Oh,
an extension. Actually, we don't cover the visualization part in the any data science course. What happens is we will be explaining the visualization in the Python itself. So whatever the different types of graphs we will be analyzing. So the course is just going to be like picking up so for example, if you take machine learning, let us say we are studying about the linear regression algorithm. So when we are discussing the linear regression algorithm, what we are going to do is we'll pick up a problem statement and we'll have the sample data related to that. And once we finished understanding the mathematical and conceptuals of linear regression, then we will start working on the data. So while working in the data, anyways, we will be doing the pre-processing and also doing some exploratory data analysis on the data. So while doing that, we will be trying to use all the maximum possible graphs in Python itself. So there we will be covering all the visualization concepts. So that's why we didn't include a separate module for visualization. But if you need if it is mandatory to learn Tableau and Power BI, then we can do that as well, but after completion of this course, right? So somebody asked some question. One second. Yeah, so yes, Girish, we will have the practical projects. As I mentioned, if you take the third module, machine learning, so I have given you a sample project for this machine learning, where you can try working on building the machine learning algorithms for this particular project. Similarly, for the deep learning also, we will be having a project in deep learning, where you can work on some of the problem statement which I will be giving. So I mean, this is a sample project which I have mentioned here with the deep learning frameworks, where we will be finding the face mask detection using neural networks. And coming to the fifth module, you will be having another project, so which is text summarization with NLP, concepts, right, where you will be taking a big bunch of text or paragraphs of text, and you will be summarizing this text in simpler sentences. So these are the three practical projects you will be working on, and then you will be having a capstone project again. So these are the different projects we will be covering. Any other questions? Okay, so if we don't have any questions, then we can wind up the session. Okay, so thank you guys, thank you for your participation. Yeah, thanks Anup, thanks Girish, thanks Siram. We'll hope to see again.
Sure. Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you all.